Hey, how are you today? We are going to be talking about 5 of the best songwriters from the late 80s and early 90s. Let's start with number 1. We're talking about the one and only Mr. John Hiatt. John Hiatt has so many songs that are so good, it'll make your head spin. Okay, if you're on a road trip and you need someone good to listen to and you want to do a deep dive, John Hiatt is the guy. Starting in 87, he's got Bring the Family. 88, Slow Turning, famously featuring Sonny Landreth on slide guitar. 1990, Stolen Moments. 1993, Perfectly Good Guitar. And 1995, Walk On. He's got piano songs like Have a Little Faith in Me. He's got great rootsy guitar songs. Perfectly Good Guitar is such a good song, making fun of these 60s artists who would smash up their guitars on stage. And John Hiatt's opinion was, why would you smash a perfectly good guitar? Some kid could be playing that. I can be playing that. Don't do that. That's stupid. So give his discography a long listen, and I promise you will love him. Number 2, Lyle Lovett. Lyle Lovett, famous Texan. Great musician who wrote songs. He started in 88 with Pontiac, 89, Lyle Lovett and his large band, and 96, The Road to Ensenada, as well as many other albums. Give him a listen. He's got such a unique, intimate kind of storytelling style, like on the song Private Conversations. I just love that song. And live, they break it down. He gets this mix of the instruments that's just so unique and satisfying to listen to. If I Had a Boat, what a killer tune he wrote. If I had a boat, I'd go out in the ocean. And if I had a pony, I'd ride him on my boat. I mean, just these crafty little, funny, creative, and just lyrics that you just fall in love with. Number 3, the one and only Van Morrison. That's right. You might think of Van Morrison as the guy who wrote Brown Eyed Girl in the 60s and his 70s stuff, which was great. But in the 90s, my belief is Van Morrison became this songwriter that was next level from his early stuff. And he's just so talented and makes you think. You don't just feel the music, but he makes you think. He had songs. In 1990, he came out with an album called Enlightenment. The title track is kind of this Buddhist take from a guy who's from Dublin. He doesn't understand what enlightenment is, but he's trying very hard to do that. I got to see him play this live in 2019. He was 74 at the time, and he just commanded the stage. And when he played that song, I just was so happy that he played 4 or 5 of my favorites that aren't really on the radar from the 60s and 70s fans. But 90s fans just, really kind of love this stuff. The other killer song from the 90s was from 1995's Days Like This, and it's the title track. Days Like This is probably my favorite song ever. It is so good. The lyrics are so meaningful, and it just makes you realize, not every day is going to be bad. You are going to have some good days that just make all the bad days worth it. So give 1990s Van Morrison a listen. Number 4, Sarah McLachlan. I remember when she came on the scene in 1993 with the song Possession from the album Fumbling Towards Ecstasy. I didn't get it at first. I thought it was a weird song. It wasn't until I heard a live version of Possession that I realized, wow, this person is amazing. Her songs are so good. And I started listening deeper. And of course, in 1997, she came out with Surfacing. Surfacing had so many hits on it, and it put her over the top with all these songs, Building a Mystery and a bunch of others. She then put a live album out called Mirror Ball in 99, which just cemented her as this megastar. And she, in the late 90s, she founded the Lilith Fair. And lots of female artists like Sheryl Crow and Melissa Etheridge and the Indigo Girls and so forth. It was an all-female concert series that they did. It was really cool. And Sarah McLachlan was the person behind all of that. So give her 90s stuff a listen. You will not be disappointed in that. And number 5, we have Mr. Morrissey. Yes, the former lead singer of the Smiths. You might know from songs like How Soon Is Now and a couple of others that really put that band on the map, that had Johnny Marr's trademark classic riffs that really helped create the sound of that band. But they never really made it to that huge level like some of the bands like The Cure and so forth did, but they were very popular as a cult band and still are to this day. In the late 80s, in 1986, Morrissey left the Smiths and he went solo. And he came out with an album in 1988 called Viva Hate, which had songs like Suede Head and Every Day is Sunday, which got a lot of rotation on MTV. And he was a very good-looking guy. He had a great voice, so people really started to pay attention to him. 1991, he had an album called Kill Uncle, and then he had Your Hate, which had Your Arsenal in 1992 had a song called We Hate It When Our Friends Become Successful. And I can remember hearing that song for the first time going, whoa, that is pretty good. I heard that song every day, about 3 times a day when I was working outside as a painter. And it just really burned in my brain. I thought, man, this guy is good. Who is this? I didn't really know who, he was the lead singer of the Smiths formerly. So I started doing research and listening to his stuff. And man, he just had song after song. So it was just so cool to discover Morrissey and then go back in time and learn about the Smiths. So those are our 5 cool singer-songwriters from the late 80s and early 90s. Make sure to ring that bell down there and give me a subscribe. Give me a like. If you got a comment of some singer-songwriters from the late 80s, early 90s that you really love, put those in the comments. I'd love to see that. So stick around next time. Give me a like. And I want to thank you for coming back to Adam's Music. We will see you next time. Take care.